All right, good morning, everybody. We're here with Draco Silvam this morning. We're got a guild interview with those guys and girls. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to start with a little bit of talk about the channel, what we're trying to do. So we're trying to create a library of guilds for new players when they come into the game, that they have an idea of what's going on, maybe what type of guild they want to join, what these guilds do, how they play, are they PvE, PvP, do they do a lot of group things, that kind of thing. So we're trying to create this massive library of all the guilds that are in Mortal Online 2, which is going to be quite a feat. Anyways, we're poking away at it and getting it. So we're going to talk about questions. We're going to hold off from chat for the questions until the end of the interview, and then we'll take them in kind of a question format. So we'll continue on. Now, we have Housie. He's here as the guild leader. I'm just going to let him talk about himself there real quick. If you want to go ahead there, Housie.
Yeah. First off, thank you so much for having us. I've
Thank you.
expressed to you how grateful I am that you're doing this. I think it's really healthy for the game. I think it's healthy for the exposure of the guilds. And I think we're on the same page that it, creates some structure for new guilds, or sorry, new players that, might want to be playing with a community, but don't know where to look. And this could be a great resource to get them started. And so I fully advocate for that. But as for myself, I have played Mortal since I think 2015. I've typically played with blue guilds. So that's sort of like the underlying background for DS, I suppose. We're not blue explicitly, but that's kind of where a lot of us came from. But we try to embrace a lot of different guild or play styles.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm one of the leaders of DS. It was kind of birthed from the priority in democracy and giving everybody a voice. And these two should be able to tell you that as quickly as we promote, we try and give everybody the opportunity to be active in the guild and have a say. Now, for myself and a few others, I think there's 3 of us right now that are council members, guild leaders, essentially. And so I guess we have the final say on things, but we try really hard to delegate most things to the newer players and anybody who shows initiative and wants to be active and take priority in what the guild does. So yeah, I brought 2 members with me who we picked up, I think, in the stress test. They quickly showed that they had initiative and that they had opinions and valuable insight into what we could do. So they rose quickly through being promoted, and I wanted them to come with me so that they could express themselves as well. And if they have any, criticisms about the S2, they can bring that forth as well, because we want to be a transparent guild. We want to, allow everybody to have their say. So I guess without further ado, I have with me Ongar, Augie,
Augie.
and
Good morning.
Shata, and they're 2 of our officers. So I'll let them go ahead. Ongar, if you want to start.
Awesome.
But what if I don't? It's fine. I'll start.
All right, Shata, you're up.
You're out.
No, okay. You want to go ahead?
No.
Okay. So hi. Well, in game, I'm known as Shasa, and I've played the game since stress test. And I played it for like 2 days, and I decided I needed a guild, and that's how I found Draco Silvam, and I have been happy since. My role in the guild is basically the same as Angar's. We are this type of officer that has nothing to do specifically with fighting and battles, but we're rather the the everything else officers, which consists of logistics, like planning for events and what our guild members would need for those events. maybe some intelligence, gathering intelligence for some events that we would like our guild to participate in and that we organize, and like guild recruitment as well. So people who want to join the guild, they should message me or Angar.
Okay, perfect.
Hit me up.
Yeah, Angar, you can go ahead if you have some other stuff you want to add into that personally. You should talk about yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
First. Thanks.
Yeah, I joined the guild pretty much, I think, like, not even a week before Shasa joined. We just joined either, like, beginning stress test or slightly a bit before for me. I don't remember exactly, but I've been around the MMO block. I played a lot of World of Warcraft, FF14, Last Oasis, just pretty much every MMO I've dabbled into.
Yeah.
And MO2, just came out of nowhere, really. Like, this video on YouTube showed up. Hey, have you heard about this MMO? And it's like, all right, sure, let's go take a look at it. And without even looking at the game features, I just, you know what, $40. Let's just go. Let's go give this a try. And turns out this game is pretty awesome. So I joined DS like 5 minutes after joining in. As just in help chat, trying to get help, and then other councilman Runel just straight up invited me and got me going, taught me the basics, and yeah, that's how I got involved with DS. And then through horrendous amounts of nagging and thinking I'm good, they made me an officer.
Takes a lot of work.
Many nags.
I see that. I'll write that down. That's a special note right there. Shaza, so I just clarify. So you pretty much you're staying away from the PvP. Is that what I'm getting? But you're focusing on like the PvE events, more of maybe the recruiting side and like dungeon kind of things. Is that what I'm getting from you?
Even like logistics when it comes to PvP events. So like if we need horses, if we need dial, if we need bandages, like we try to cover that for everyone. But I do like to participate in PvP as well. I'm just not counted among the best, I would say.
Yeah, well, it's all practice, right?
Yeah.
Basically, Shasa and I, we like whenever there is an event that we want to do. Let's say, I don't know, we want to go attack X place.
Yes.
Well, ahead of time, Shasa and I will go out of our way to set up events where we gather materials and make sure everyone has what they need for that event.
Okay.
And we will try and get some intelligence about where we're going. So if we're going to attack a city, let's say we're going to go attack Tindrum, we're going to send someone to go and get screenshots of potential, choke points or terrain advantages we can use.
Yeah. Okay.
So we coordinate the preparation of said event, and then once all that is ready, we inform the actual combat officers that direct comms and the actual combat.
Yeah. So that would be like you would gather all that information, bring everything back, and then the three of you, the council members, would decide, and then you would pass that right down to your combat officers. Is that what I'm getting?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We just handle the preparation, and then once the preparation is handled, we are under the orders of other combat officers that direct the charge.
Okay. And we don't have any of those guys coming today. Too bad. Aye.
Nah.
Okay.
Next time.
Yeah. I would have just liked to hear what they think about it. Okay, so let's go back here just to location. So are you guys like where are you? Where's your home base? Where are you guys living out of like right now? I guess Housey, you can start.
Sure. Currently, at this moment in time, I think we're primarily based out of Meduli.
Yeah.
That was the change that we recently made. Before that, we were in MK. Before that, we were in Vada. Before that, we were in Bhakti, which is where we started. So we've kind of bounced around a little bit. At one point, we had officers in just about every... That's not fair. We had officers in many towns.
Yes.
For purposes of recruitment and just teaching new players. But yeah, I kind of landed in Meduli. It's I haven't been to Tindrum lately, but I would assume that it's the most populated town at the moment. There's lots of action. There's lots of resources around there, and that's probably where we are aiming to start on live.
Mm-hmm.
We still have to have that explicit official discussion, but that's probably where we're leaning. I'm not sure if Ongar and Shasa have any input on that. I'm not sure if you guys will just kind of go with the wind, but we fully advocate for as well if somebody wants to live somewhere else, or if we have plenty of members and we want to, outpost an officer in Tindrum and bring a little squadron of guys that want to live out of Tindrum and recruit people in Tindrum, like that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any, formal requirements for you to live in X city or anything like that. So,
Augie, what do you think about that? Like, do you think Meduli is one of your better bets for you guys to start
Yeah,
off in?
yeah, I think Meduli's a good bet. I mean, it's got all, it's got the resource processing, at least the basic ones that you need. It's got, there's a lot going on in Meduli, right? And yeah, I think it's just a good starting point. And I think a lot of people are going to be starting there too. So
Yeah. Shazza, what do you think?
once the game goes persistent.
Yeah.
And Meduli is a great place, I think, to start because there's a lot of resources that one needs, especially mining wise. I really enjoy it
Yeah.
since I enjoy mining. But I enjoy being with the guild. So, as Halsey said, I would go with the wind because I want to be with the guild and I want to do stuff with the guild. So, anywhere the guild goes, I'll go.
Okay, so let's you started bringing up a little bit of the recruiting, so let's go into that. Now, you have no decided like you've never decided that we're just going after this type of person for our guild. We like you're willing to take old, new, semi-vets, veterans, anybody that would come to you. Is that what I'm getting and like for recruiting?
Yep. I would
We're
say that everyone is welcome, and there's only the question of is our guild the right guild for you, kind of thing. There is, I would say, it's a very rare thing if someone is not a right choice for us. At least that's how I see it.
Yeah.
Augie?
We're fairly open. There are obvious things that we don't want people doing in our guild. Like if you enjoy going to graveyards and killing noobs, you probably don't fit in here. Probably.
Yeah.
It's not a philosophy that we really enjoy.
Yeah.
But other than that, if there's a caravan, it's full of materials and you're with 3 people and it looks like an easy target, go for it.
Howsy, how do you feel about that?
yeah, that's that pretty much hits it home. In the beginning, during stress test, there were a handful of us. It was so the other council members right now are Runal Yud and Guy Farting, and the 2 of them were together with me in NWO. That's where we started, and we were in NWO prior to the stress test, and we had a lot of interactions with TE around Meduli. Like those guys bolstered us, and I hope we bolstered them in learning PvP and everything before all of this launched. And then just before launch, we had the idea to make our own guild to, sort of put in our own sort of philosophy and direction into a guild that we thought was a little bit more appropriate and dynamic. And initially, we just recruited completely arbitrarily. Like anybody that wanted to find a guild, we accepted. And our vetting process was pretty laissez-faire. It was casual. It basically was, we would meet every week and we would go through our roster and say, has anybody interacted with Frank? Do you know anything about him? Does he seem interested in the game? Is he trying to learn? Has he called anybody names? Does he seem to be respectful? Things like that. More so than is he good at PvP? is he good at gathering resources?
Yeah.
You know, it's really more about personality, because we wanted to emphasize so much into just creating a healthy community. And as we grew, it became a little bit more, obvious about the people that would last. And, a lot of that had to do with just whether or not you wanted to be a decent person and whether or not you wanted to be here. And then, through endless nagging and advocating for themselves, Ongar in particular, had risen through the ranks. And it's kind of like that. It's like Fight Club. You get out of it what you put into it. You decide your own level of involvement. And there's plenty of people in the guild still that are guild members, but they're not very active. And that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, a lot of us have jobs and some of us have children. And, we just want to make it an environment as much as possible that facilitates enjoyment in the game and, experiencing content and a little bit of structure and direction. So, it was in the beginning. Well, throughout the stress test, I mean, I would wake up to, 7 or 8 PMs from inquiries from people that wanted to, learn more about the guild or just straight up join. And, that's why really quickly I knew, oh my God, I need an Ongar. I need a Shasa. So,
it's fine, Howsy. Everyone needs an Ongar.
Everyone needs, absolutely. I'm lucky I've got one.
You know, it's funny, like when you join a guild, within the first month or 2 months, like you really can almost see how you're clicking in the guild with certain people too, right? Like that'll just pull you right in, eh? Like it's just crazy. Sometimes when you find the guild, it just clicks, and then next thing you know, you're gaming for 10 years with these people, and you don't even know them other than on the game. It's crazy.
Yep.
It happens all the time. Okay, so I got a few questions on alliances. So Augie, I want you to go first because you shoot from the hip a little bit more. It sounds like. If you could pick alliances in the game, who would you pick for? Just give me maybe top 2.
Alliances.
Let's use the term loosely when you say alliances. You know what I mean? Like I have your back this fight, but maybe not the next time. You know?
Okay. Howsy, am I going to destroy our diplomacy here?
Go for it, man. Don't worry, I'll fix it. Yeah, I'll put out the fire if there is one. That's my job.
Okay. Obviously, I love the collective.
Yeah.
Very diplomatic response. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, the collective, T.
Yeah,
all those guilds, and
yeah. Give me another one. Give me the other
BKO.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm kidding. I don't know. Like, geez.
Yeah. Puffy, eh? Yeah.
It's because I know some people had trouble with other guilds that I don't remember the name of right now. You're catching me with my pants down.
Well, okay. Let's move on then. Shaza, give me something.
Should we talk about guilds that we don't like?
You absolutely can talk. Like I said, loose alliances.
Oh, that's no fair.
Hey, loose. I said loose alliances, so that could you could friend a guild you don't like and use them, and then turn around the next time and fight them. That's a loose alliance.
That's what I do with Howsy.
Okay, go ahead, Shaza. Let's hear.
Honestly, how I see it is that we have our like full alliances, like our alliances that are like, okay, we had talks with those guilds and we decided that we're gonna be friendly towards each other.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not gonna turn my back on them just like that.
No.
And then there are those guilds that we deem enemies because they have either bullied us or bullied others or have been a pain in the ass. And then everyone else in the middle is what you just said. Anything can happen.
Let's give me a couple of those bullied guilds.
I mean, I think we all know that BKO is is a guild that likes to get on other people's nerves, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that that's what they enjoy, and that's why they're doing it.
Imagine if you
Um,
didn't have a BKO in the game, though. It might be boring, right?
sure.
Give me one more.
There's this guild called Sexy,
Oh yes.
and they're not sexy at all because they just like killing people while they're standing at the grinder at the crusher.
Oh
I
yes.
love laying in the
And
shade.
I do not enjoy that when I have a few stacks of something on me.
And a horse.
And a horse. Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, and the people who kill horses, like,
Hmm.
I'm sorry, but you're not on my favorite list.
They're not on anybody's favorite list. Doesn't matter if
Agreed.
you're a good, bad, or ugly guild. They're not on anybody's list. It's just pure trolling at its highest peak, I think. Howsy, let's add in there a little bit for me, would you?
Yeah. Okay. So everything's covered. They got it.
Yeah.
Let's see. For guilds, that we enjoy, that we've interacted with, that we've coordinated with, we are a part of the collective. We call it the collective, and
Yeah.
I think that idea was the brainchild of Vicnus from Legion. He kind of spearheaded it, and this was something that we had been wanting to get a part of since Runel and Guy and myself were in NWO, and we had advocated, heavily for being involved in it since Vic has been,
Hmm.
involved in Mortal for a while now.
Yeah. Long time.
Yeah, a long time. Yeah, and from my interactions with him, I, I don't want to stroke it too hard, but I find him to be intelligent and calculating and actually pretty considerate for somebody who likes to PvP very much. I think Shasa, one time you mentioned when we were both watching his stream that he had encountered somebody and he had let them go if they like sang a song or something like that or did a dance or I don't know.
Yes,
But
it was a song.
yeah, he's not an individual without scruples. He has
Hmm.
an ethical guideline, and so we wanted to get a part of that,
Yeah.
and so we did. And with the collective comes Trinsic Empire, TE,
Yeah, I got them.
Myrmidons, who I really really enjoy. I think Myrmex is great. He's played in the alpha or beta or whatever you want to
Really?
call it for months now, and I remember when I first got this game, I was in Bhakti. I ran into him. I was one of the first derps using a spear, and he gave me some advice about it. And yeah, we goofed around a little bit, and I've seen him at tournaments and stuff, and we've spoken privately. And I think he's great. I think he's an excellent leader. He's excellent on comms. So we're going to be coordinating with them a lot too. We fought alongside Legion. Prophecy, I think, is also in the collective. UXA.
See that the guild you were just talking about though first. What was it called again?
With Vicnus.
No, the one after that. You met him.
Pingmare.
Minmare?
Myrmidon.
Oh, it's the Myrmidons. I think their full name is like the Viking, the Myrmidon, Vikings of Myrmidon. I
Really?
can't remember. Myrmex
Okay.
is going to be so angry. I don't know the whole thing. No, he's not going to be. He's so chill.
Yeah,
He's really.
I'd love to
cool
talk
and
to
laid
them
back.
guys for sure.
Yeah, but that's Myrmex, Myrmex. He's the
Yeah.
guild leader. Their acronym is MYR, but they're excellent. I think they're
Yeah.
mostly European guys, but they're very coordinated. They're very
Yeah.
diligent. They're a solid guild, and we like them a lot. But TE probably is the one we have the furthest relationship going back with.
Yeah.
Like I said, prior to the stress test, we were with them a lot.
Yeah.
Mordred, Grudge,
Yeah. TE's a
Gareth,
good guild.
Happy. Yeah, Happy's in our Discord, and he's we're just
He's happy.
shooting the shit half the time. Yeah, he's happy. Whenever I see him in game, we just have a laugh, and they're excellent. We've tried to coordinate like training sessions with them and sieges, and we've got plans for the future. I've worked with them a lot about just what our goals are and intentions, and it just seems to be so perfectly aligned. When I saw the interview that you had with them,
Yeah.
I was kind of like thinking to myself, well, shoot, we don't really have to do this now because they already covered a lot of the same philosophy that we carry,
Yeah.
and I think that's why we've meshed so well with them. So, to be very explicit about it, I think there are only hard alliance right now. Like
Yeah.
there are only like strict. If they're getting attacked, we
You're in.
will assist them.
You're
Yeah, we're
100%
in.
in. Yeah.
Absolutely. And with the collective, it might be interesting to elucidate that the collective is kind of, I would call it a loose alliance.
Yes.
So the grounds for it are that there are no hard expectations to
Yes.
come to the assistance or to coordinate or work with any of the other guilds. It's kind of the same principle we have in our guild, that you decide your level of involvement. Like if Vicness is attacking somebody or getting attacked by somebody, we're not obligated to
Yes.
respond, but we can. And
Yeah.
I think the guild leaders of the guilds associated with the collective, I think they're receptive and diligent enough to remember that kind of thing. I don't think Vicness has forgotten a single time where we've actually fought alongside them, and so
Mm-hmm.
that kind of, I think it kind of tallies up, and that's kind of the way we, I guess, flexibly, value our association in the
With them.
collective, along
Yeah.
with any other guild in there. But yeah, I think a lot of those are really great guilds, and I like interacting with them. As far as other guilds that I like, I guess I would probably say AC is one of my. I
Yeah.
think they're doing really good things.
Big time.
I think their philosophy is pretty in line with ours as well.
Yeah.
We can fight them open field, but they won't, kill our horse right outside the stable or something like that.
Yeah.
And Kodo, I guess, is probably in the same sort of aspect. Like they bring content to the game, right? Like we've
Yeah. They are in the
discussed.
collective, though, right? Kodo?
Kodo, I don't think so. No,
No.
Mm-mm.
no, I don't think they are. But we do have we have soft agreements with, let's call it that, I guess. Very ambiguous diplomatic relations with a lot of other guilds like Kodo and AC, Cartel, I think. Just kind of in the aspect that we're not going to be trolling each other and spawn camping each other,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll still engage in PvP and content, and we're not gonna take that from guild members if that's the kind of thing they want to engage in. So
That's awesome.
yeah, but if you want me to comment on guilds that we don't like, I could do that too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I still have the question mark beside your name for that one, so I'm waiting.
Yeah,
But that was good. I think a lot of people in chat actually probably wanted to hear about that collective, because it's I've heard it mentioned before, but I've never had an actual breakdown of it. So
Okay, gotcha.
that was very interesting for me. I appreciate that. Yeah. So if you have some other guilds that you want to toss under the bus, feel free.
Under the bus. Oof, under the Mortal Online bus. That's a big bus.
It is a big bus.
I think Ongar drives it. Yeah, Ongar drives it to squish all the bad guilds.
Yeah, he just runs over.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Get out of here, mister.
So yeah, initially, very early in the stress test, I remember BKO being, what's a appropriate word? I guess you could say
Subhuman life forms.
Yeah,
They're going to be on here sooner or later to defend themselves.
Yeah.
So
maybe a nuisance. I don't know. Let's
Yeah.
call it that. Engaging in PvP, outside Meduli, and that's fine. It brought content, so there's something to that. I've already explained to you how I value antagonists in any story. They need good bad guys.
yeah,
Because it makes things interesting. If everybody was just holding hands in Meduli, and
yeah,
a fighter like me would be,
bored.
bored.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and maybe nuisance isn't even the right word. But yeah, they established pretty quickly that they were going to combat literally everybody.
Yes.
So as far as picking up enemies goes, I wouldn't advocate that for our guild in a sense.
Yeah.
But that's the way they want to play, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, we fought them a few times. We fought them along Legion. We had some victories. We had some losses. So yeah, I guess I wouldn't say full on nuisance. Just
Yeah.
they just fully engaged in PvP, and
Yes. Oh, they definitely
at
did.
one point, yeah, I don't, before they had like the criminal system hashed out a little bit better. It became kind of annoying at times, and was one of the reasons we wanted to leave Vada, just
Yeah.
be a little safer at times. But yeah, BKO. I don't know if they're still on or at it.
They're
Like I
kicking
said,
around.
we've jumped around. Okay, yeah, like I said, we've jumped around from town to town a lot, so
Mhm.
I don't think we've really encountered them lately. So whatever they're doing, keep it up, keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
yeah, as far as some other guilds, there's Gutter Snipes is one. I know they like to
yeah. They like their
snipe.
PvP for sure.
Yeah. And then I don't know who are some other people. There's yeah, I guess there's
Dreadlords.
Sekti, Dreadlords. I remembered when Dreadlords popped up before the stress test, and they liked to fight in GK, and I ran into. I had heard all about Dreadlords, and even in Mortal One, I had never really encountered them that often, but I had heard a lot of things. And there was one time when I ran into Killox at GK, and from the reputation, I half expected some unpleasant interaction, but he was like, "Hey, man, what's up? How's it going?" And we talked for like 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and it was like pleasant. And I was like, "Okay, I get it now." Like he just likes PvP. He likes
Yeah.
to fight. He likes to engage in the content of this game. So he might be interesting to have on too. I don't really have much relationship with him, but again, as far as like antagonists go, game needs bad guys. So yeah,
Yep.
that's something I guess I would advocate for. But yeah, there's some I don't know, some other guilds maybe that I wouldn't want to mention explicitly just
No.
because of
No, it's
really
fine.
negative diplomatic
Yeah.
relations with
I won't
them.
put you in that position, but these guild names always come up. Everybody always says the same thing,
Okay,
so
yeah,
the,
that's the thing. Okay,
they're they're used to it anyways, and they do love PvP. And I know guys from Gutter Snipes, BKO, Sexy. I never have a problem with them. You know what I mean? They're just after a certain part of the game. They carve their little chunk out of the game that they like to do, and that's what they do. So
yeah, absolutely.
you know,
I would say it'd be interesting if you could get a few hard blue guilds on, because I would like to see their perspective. Like Wardens is one,
yeah,
and NWO,
yes,
the guild that I came from,
hmm
whose leader is Diesel, who I love. I think Diesel is intelligent and an excellent leader, but just a very different philosophy, a much more like can I say rigid?
yeah. Oh,
Um,
absolutely, yeah,
let's say rigid just because it's very very explicitly blue, and
yeah,
there's like no
yeah,
there's very little wiggle room. So if that's the way you want to play, I would advocate for a guild like that. But it'd be interesting if one of those guilds could get on just to explain a little bit of their approach to the game and why they want to stay hard blue like
yeah.
that. When I
That's
was at
interesting.
NWO, I wrote the recruitment post, and in it I remember one of the lines I'm more proud of was that when you are blue, you're playing the game on hard mode,
Yeah,
because the expectation is that you'll only really ever fight those people that kill and murder and fight a lot. Like
hmm
you're not going to be sneaking up on a miner, you're not going to be sneaking up and killing somebody right outside the stable. You're only going to be fighting people that are wearing chronite, that are out for blood, that
yeah,
want to kill you. So it's like every interaction you have is going to be 100%, and it's going to be max speed. So there is that, and I enjoyed it for a lot of time. But yeah, those would be kind of interesting if you could get them
yeah.
on.
Oh, I would love to. Anybody's welcome. I don't care, big or small. Any guild doesn't matter. I want them all on. We just run out of time most of the time interviewing everybody, right? And I'll just clarify
Yeah.
with Killox. I've known Killox for 3-4 years. Never had a problem with him. Even when he sees me in the game, he'll run by and just stab me. Love tap Bratwire, just keep running. But I
Right.
just had one of his guys kill my guy in the game right now. I was just sitting there and he hacked me down. But I'm not using Bratwire either, so he probably didn't know it was me. But it doesn't even matter. That's Dreadlords. Like they like their PV too, their PvP. Sorry, as well, right?
Right.
So, anyways, let's go on to the crafting part. So I think your two officers here would look after gathering all the materials, right? We kind of touched on it a bit at the start, and I just wanted to go a little bit more into the details of how you guys are going about crafting and helping out new players get the things they need. If one of you guys want to take over there, go ahead.
Well, the gathering, I do gathering mostly. So crafting is actually done by specific people. We like to specialize. So someone crafts weapons, someone crafts armor, someone crafts specific armor, someone crafts specific weapons. I mostly focus on mining and extraction, and I actually enjoy it. I know it's weird, but
It's popular.
we yeah. But we try when we get new players, we try to help them out with gear and showing them how they can craft their own gear, how they can gather their own materials, and yeah, get them started. And then yeah, later they can just help the guild out as well.
So if a new player comes in, then you guys do you organize where, okay, guys, we're gonna go do this thing. We need to go out and get 10 stacks of granum. Who's
Yeah,
gonna come and help?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we do.
Yeah.
a lot of times.
We establish a baseline on what we need, and then make sure that whatever was gathered in that quote unquote gathering event is processed in the way that if we do have an event, we've got a bunch of gear that we can just hand out if people need it.
Yeah. So do you guys have a specific person that's doing all the crafting in your guild, like making the weapons and the armor, or it's just spread out?
It's pretty spread out. There's like several different players that specify in different things, so we just know who to go to if we need something. It's obviously like, we've got it set up on Discord so people can find it easily, but we've also like I'm guessing right now it's just one person does one thing, but eventually I'm guessing it's going to become more of a department kind of thing.
Yeah. So you guys, I didn't go in your Discord. I don't even know if I have your Discord yet. But so if you go in the Discord, you'll have maybe a channel's broke up where you need 100 stacks of granum by such a date, and then maybe it would be organized in channels like that where you would go in and say, okay, I'm going out farming, jump in this channel type of thing.
We've literally got an events channel where we go, hey, we're going to be trying to get this like some amount of gathering done tonight. They can sign up for it, and then we coordinate and go out all at the same time.
Yeah.
Do this run, maybe a run or two, maybe more, depending on how people feel that at that particular moment. And whatever we get done. And if we need more, we'll just schedule another one.
Yeah. It's very handy to have it broke down, like the organized. Because if you need a bunch of stuff to go out, okay, that makes sense to me.
Because a lot of people like to play the game passively, right?
Yes.
So they're going to be involved with the guild as much as the guild gets them involved. And that's totally fine, right? But if you have the event go out, it gives the people the opportunity to sign up for it and basically be as involved as they want to.
Yeah, and I think that's the way to do it. Like if you had a specific goal, you would put it out there. Okay, guys, we need to get X amount by this date. Feel free. We're gonna go out Wednesday night and Friday night for 2 hours. Come and join us. It's kind of a guild event. Blah blah blah, and just see what you get, right? And that's how you you notice like new players would kind of buy into that, be like, okay, it's a good time for me just to go out and get to know people and that kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Like these gathering events are never boring because all the while we are in chat and we're talking and having fun. Yeah.
And I think it's important to point out too, like everyone's gonna get their own gear. Like this whole like gathering thing,
Yeah.
that's for events.
Yeah.
That's if, hey, we're going to war tonight. We need to have like armor sets ready. Those armor sets we're getting ready. It's for people that, I don't know, they work till 5 and we're leaving at 5:30 and they need like a set in that 30-minute window.
Yeah.
That's what this gathering is for. But usually, I mean, if you're playing the game, you're going to have your own set of gear, right? Cuz you know, you're going to be doing out your own stuff a lot of the time. So you're going to be looking out for your own gear, and like the guild doesn't depend on on those gathering events. Those gathering events are, let's make sure we're ready.
Exactly. No, that's a perfect example, and exactly how I wanted you kind of to lay it out for everybody, because everybody will be responsible for their own stuff. It's just over and above. It's always better to, like, you know, when you're when you're gonna, like, I'll break it down into sieges. Say you have a castle and you're gonna be, you're gonna be sieged. Well, in guilds they'll be saying, okay, everybody needs to have 5 sets of armor in the bank, 500 fire arrows, blah blah blah, and it's a mandatory guild thing, right? So you're fully prepared, because you could go out and you could get killed in 3 minutes and lose 2 sets of armor in this game. It's that quick, right? So that's why.
Yep.
That's perfect. Yeah, it's a perfect way to explain it to everybody too.
And it's also like, hey, if you're, like I explained earlier, if you have a life, I don't know, you can't be there for most of the day to take part in everything, but you want to be part of that siege, it's fine. We got you.
Yeah. That's exactly what you need to do. Yeah, I really appreciate that, actually.
But at the same time, if we're leaving at 5:30, you got to be there at 5:30. We're leaving. Let's go, boy.
Yeah. And you don't have a horse? What do you mean we got to wait for you to get a horse? Right?
Exactly.
Oh, just like strangle some of them, eh? Okay, so I just mentioned the keeps and stuff, so let's go into that just a little bit and what your goals for housing and keeps are, because like I said, there's only going to be so many keep spots, right? So are you guys planning on going towards a keep, or are you going to just build like a kind of a collective town where you can put things, or are you going to try to friend another guild where you can split things? Like, what do you think is going to happen, or where do you see yourself as a guild going? Howsy, I guess take that one first. That's a lot, I know.
So
what do you mean?
Yeah.
We had an entire discussion last night about this. This specific question.
You knew it was coming.
So I'm going to defer to Augie and Shasa. I want to hear what they have to say about this. But before they do, I just want to say, as the leader, I do have, as a leader, we do have plans. There are things that are discussed in council among the leaders.
Yeah.
Some information is, sensitive to that aspect.
Sure.
But we try to make everything as transparent as possible. So I want to hear what they have to say about it and what their perspective is, just, coming from members of the guild, and
Sure.
whether or not they're happy with it. And then I'll go after. If
Okay.
That's all right.
Shaz, you want
Go
to
ahead,
first?
Augie. Oh, okay.
No, it doesn't matter. You guys pick. It's your group. You pick. I don't care.
Go, Shasa.
Okay. Well, my opinion is, of course, I think everyone, maybe not everyone, but at least I enjoy the thought of having a keep and maintaining and building a keep with the guild. But of course, I'm realistic. I know how much work it requires to get it going and then keep it going. And I'm just hoping that we will have enough active players to be able to do it.
Yeah, I think you will.
Yeah.
Like, you're already talking about how much you guys like to organize events and stuff. So the next thing on your agenda is when the dungeons come out, like doing runs, right? So
yeah, spanking.
For sure.
Well, that's where your tax money comes in, because if you're not doing deep dives in the dungeons for days at a time to pull hard currency out of there and liquid currency of gold, like, you'll have a hard time keeping a keep afloat because it costs a lot of money. Augie, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same boat. I'm, obviously I'd love a keep. Obviously, I'd love it if we can own every keep. But
Good luck.
but being realistic, right? Curb your expectations. Whatever we have the means to do,
Yes.
I'm on board. Hey, if we can take a keep and keep it forever, let's go.
Yeah.
As long as we can hold it up and have people involved in the game and playing with us, if it's open for business, we'll go.
I'll tell you a really good strategy just quickly. When if it's the same as the old ways, it's going to be for keeps, and you can hire guards. You make sure that you have a massive amount of liquid currency in the bank in your guild leaders, so they can throw down guards. Because when you get attacked and you don't have enough guards, and you don't have enough players in the game to defend it, you have to count on the guards to come to your aid. And trust me, it'll be well worth it. Like, I had probably tens of thousands of gold, if not hundreds of thousands, at one time in the RPK keep to buy guards. Okay, Howsy, go ahead. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that in there for you. Just a quick tip.
Yeah, no, that's I appreciate it. And it's very valuable. I
It's
mean,
legit.
the three of us, the three leaders, we haven't been guild leaders before.
Yeah.
We've been a part of guilds, and I've seen, the logistical loopholes and obstacles that Diesel had to go through to maintain his keep for so long, and WO's keep.
Yes.
And so, we're acknowledging that it's a tremendous amount of work. It requires a lot of dedication. It requires a consistent, active community within your guild. That being said, I think the two major variables that sort of, influenced us to leave our previous guild and create Draco
Yeah.
was the ambition to get a keep and to join an alliance, which happened to be the collective due to our relationships with them. So is it on the quest board? Absolutely. Is it something that's reasonable and within our means, like Ongar said? I don't know. I think that is to be determined. At the height of stress tests, I guess you could say we probably had a good 20 to 30 people on a night. Closer to 30 on Fridays and Saturdays. So do we have enough people? Possibly. Currently, if you look in our channels, there's 0 people on.
Yeah.
Right. So with the content drought, can I call it that?
Oh, big time
Henrik
drought.
getting upset at me.
He's not gonna get upset. He knows.
Okay.
Everybody's
so
well
yeah,
aware.
with that,
So.
yeah, and I know we're not the only guild
Yep.
that's experienced that kind of reduction in activity, but yeah, like what Ongar said, if we do have enough people that are active, if we do have enough people that we've been able to identify care about participating in the guild and want to contribute to capturing and maintaining a keep and all of the responsibilities that go with it, then we're certainly going to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah.
So that's based on you and the community. If you want to join Draco and be a part of this, you're more than welcome, as long as you're not a complete turd. And if you just want to play the game,
you made me an officer.
True, you're here, Augie.
You're the okay. Well, that job that's already filled. We already got somebody in that job. So
yeah, you can only have one per guild. I get it. I get it.
Exactly.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So yeah, it's definitely an ambition, but it's something that we don't want to approach unrealistically. We want to be very diligent about our decision to make that happen.
Yeah, because I think the numbers reasonably, you'd want like 50 plus active members, and when the game launches into persistent, you're going to pick up a ton of people. Once you start sorting through them, you're going to have to have somebody in each city basically just spamming to recruit people right away. And then if you recruit 10 people in one day, you might end up retaining like 1/3 of that, maybe 2 or 3 of them, and then the rest will move on, right? And that's kind of how you recruit to get your numbers up there, and then make sure you're well organized with like maybe Friday nights or PVE nights, or and then roam. You make 2 groups. Maybe one
Yeah.
goes on a roam, the other one's doing PVE, or that it has to be well organized to draw people in and active, right? By creating
I mean,
like
sparring nights.
yeah,
Sparring nights have been pretty successful so far.
yeah. But I think like on the weekends, like Friday night, usually you'd want a group to go roaming, looking for PvP, right? That would be that Friday and Saturday nights would be PvP nights basically, and there it was back in MO1 for sure. It was always Friday night. Okay, we need 50 guys. We're going out roaming. And then you just go to wherever and look for the fights and get the people the experience. And then maybe like Saturday afternoons is your PVE content where you would do your dungeon crawls, or Sunday afternoons, something like that. You'd have to make sure it's organized and scheduled so you could get the numbers right that you require, so people know exactly when it is. It's just from what I've done before in the game, so we had a pretty good idea what was going on every day. Okay, I just quickly want to touch on what you guys each and girls, what you each think of the state of the game as of right now. How's you actually go first? Just a quick little couple minutes about the game, what you think of the state of the game, and what you want to see come in the game, I guess.
Okay. Well, I started playing in November. What could you do in November? You could
Spar.
duel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't cast fireballs. You couldn't aggro a guard. Couldn't kill zombies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's excellent how much work they've done. I'm really pleased with it. I being along for the ride has felt pretty special, and seeing the stress launch and how many people, jumped into the game that were brand new. It was really, really something to see. It was just very good to know, from a long time Mortals player's perspective, that people could be interested in the game and that it could have something to offer, and that new players could get excited about it, like Ongar, who just kind of arbitrarily discovered it
Yeah.
and then, magically fell in love with it. So it's good to see that. It's good to be able to share that with other people, if they do enjoy the game, and if they like where it's going and all the content associated with it. It feels like there's a good community, like we have our guild community, and then, above that, there's the collective community, and then, go even broader, and it's just the mortal community. Just being in the Discord, talking to people that I've never even seen in game is is impactful, and it's important, I think. So I really like what they've been doing. As for right now, I don't really have any gripes against it. It's just having played since November and, finally getting burnt out about, having done pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's more of the, what can you do in the game? Well, it's more of the same stuff you can do or did, back in November. So it kind of did a little bit of a loop. But, I'm still hopeful and very excited to see them drop more content, having more, a varying degree of play styles to engage in. And I'm fully on board. I'm committed. I'm going to, keep everything going with DS and our relationships with other guilds, and try and give people, newcomers and veterans, the most involved playing experience that they want, that they can ask for. So I'm going to stay on board with it. Not playing right now, probably won't log in today, but hopefully when there's new things, I'll definitely be on, and I'll encourage everybody else to as well.
Start logging in. Just quickly, what is the biggest thing that you're looking forward to though, coming up? Like just quickly, just like what's going to be your favorite add into the game?
So like short,
yeah. Right now,
Probably
boom. If it was coming, if you could pick tomorrow, what would it be?
Brokers. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to start making the money.
Well, I think it's
Passive
going to be
income.
good for the economy. Yeah, I
Yes.
think because if you think about play style and everything like that, if you're a new player, you have one
Yeah.
set of gear.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not a crafter. Maybe you can't make your own weapon. And our armor crafter happens to be on the other side of the world. Okay, so I go to the graveyard, I die, I'm out of gear now.
Yes.
What are your options? Okay, maybe I'll go play WoW, or maybe I'll go play Counter Strike, or whatever anybody else plays these days.
Yeah.
But if you've got the broker, I mean, not only can you make the money, but you can get all those items that you couldn't otherwise. So I think it's just good for the economy, good for the game, good for play style. I think it'll just open up and sort of broaden the spectrum of activities that you can actually do in the game. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I would say.
Perfect. Shaza? State of the
Um,
game.
well, currently I mean, for me, it's pretty much the same as it was, except for the latest patch, which gave us
The
horse
horses.
saddles.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
bags.
which was fun for, it was like new and fun for a few days, and it's very useful, and I enjoy it. It's just I crave more content, more enemies, more creatures, bosses, and dungeons. Like I'm really excited for those
Yeah.
to come. Currently, the game is fun because of the guild, I feel like. I mean, it's a sandbox game. Like, I'm not expecting like very specific content to be in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have events with the guild, it's always fun, even if things are the same and nothing new was added. But I think as time goes on and they release stuff, it will become more and more enjoyable. And what I'm really looking forward to is I'm hoping for jewel crafting. Like for some reason, I decided that I want to craft like rings and
Things like that.
medallions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be able
So
to add them into the swords, like the hilts of the swords and things like that.
yeah, that would be really awesome.
Remember when they had, you actually didn't play, but they had these things you could add to the swords. They're like weapon hilts, they were called, that would add to the swords. So that's
I
that.
heard about them.
Yeah, yeah. You get them out of dungeons, so it's going to be right up your alley. So you should
Yeah.
enjoy that. Augie, you're up.
Yeah, yeah. So state of the game. State
Yeah.
of the game.
For you.
Uh,
For you.
Yeah, for me.
Yep.
So the game is in a it's in an acceptable state for what like point of development it's at right now, right?
Yep.
It's playable. There's obviously bugs. There's obviously like annoying things that shouldn't happen, like people killing your horses by the bank. But
Yeah.
it's fine. It's part of playing an early access game.
Yes.
As far as the development process goes, listen, I'm not a developer, all right? I'm a car mechanic. I don't. So I love like the recent roadmap they released, right? I love all the stuff that's on there, but I don't know how much they've gotten done, behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And to me, like May, what they've got for May, that sounds pretty realistic. But
Yep.
for the entire month of June, all they've got in there, like, all right, I'm hoping they get it all down, but somehow I don't think it's all going to be in there. Not by the end of June.
Yeah.
But
You're hopeful. That's all right.
oh yeah, I am hopeful. It's because like you get involved with a lot of early access games, right? And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and it's not necessarily about being ripped off, right? Because a lot of games they end up actually putting in the content. It just takes a while, and I don't know. Like I have faith that this game is going to be great. It's already like honestly for
Yeah.
$40, I've got like what 300 something hours into it. I already got
Exactly.
my money's worth.
Exactly.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So anything that they add, hey, it's an extra gravy.
Yeah. You know what? It is what it is right now. Everybody knows what they're playing in, right? For $40, like you said.
Yep.
How do you go wrong?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I've already got 300 hours into it. Like, it's fine. I got my money's worth.
I know. I have a ton of hours in it already too. I guess another question is: did any of you guys and girls play UO Ultima Online?
I did not.
No, eh?
Nope.
I did not. Was I too young? Not too young. Just not aware.
Yeah, that game was crazy game. To say the least. Like,
But I've always loved I've always loved the concept of like sandbox MMOs. So
Yeah, I think a lot of players do, because I find when you work hard in a game like this, getting something is way more rewarding. I don't know if you guys agree
not
with
just
that.
that,
Yeah.
not just that. What the thing that really like drives me to play a game like this is you go play World of Warcraft and like allegedly it's an MMORPG, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But to be realistic, if you're playing World of Warcraft, all of its features could be organized into a server browser and you could remove the big overworld map and it would be literally the same game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm
Whereas
done with those games.
exactly. And you log into Mortal Online, and one of the games that sealed the deal for me on sandbox MMOs is, I mean, it's a dead game now, but Life is Feudal MMO.
Yeah.
I loved how involved I was with everyone in my guild when I played that. And I've been, it's looking for that scratch that drives you to play with other players. That's why, that's 100% why I'm in MO2.
Yeah. I did touch on that futile there I played it for a week, and it was just, I did back it too, actually, so I did play it a little bit, but it never worked out for me in that game at all either. I think we're done. We're gonna take some questions from chat. So if you guys have some questions, just throw them in question format. Minik's in there right now. I'm just gonna summarize what we kind of talked about. So we'll start from when the interview started, with Housie being one of the guild leaders. Played in 2015 in mostly blue guilds. Shaza and Augie joined during the stress test. Shaza and Augie kind of look after everything in the guild. They do the logistics, look after the recruiting, organize a lot of the events, and obviously will be doing more once the dungeons comes in. They'll be organizing a bunch of that as well. Also, Augie says he helps in the chat to get recruits and things. The guild consists of 3 council members that would have the final say on what goes on in the guild at the end. Augie and Shaz do reconnaissance and kind of gather intel if they're gonna like go somewhere, say whether they were doing fighting or whatever. Then they would inform their officers of combat, and then they would take their orders from those guys that organize the fights. Location right now, they're hanging their hats kind of Medouli, and most of their council members agree that that's the spot they're going to start probably when the game goes persistent. The recruiting is wide open. They take all levels. Doesn't matter, vet, old, young, new. They're not looking just for mages. They're not looking just for foot fighters. Nothing like that. Some of the guilds that they kind of find that are loosely tormenting people, we'll say Gutter Snipes, BKO, and Sexy. They also they're in a collective, it's called. So there's a bunch of guilds that are kind of bluish grayish, Walk the Line, TC, AC, Legion, a few other ones. I didn't actually write them all down, but so this is there might be a half a dozen that are in this collective, so it's kind of a cool group. If you guys want more information, you'll go into their Discord and get a hold of them. They do organize gathering events for if they are going out to do, I guess, like a group thing. They organize gathering events in their Discord, which Shaza looks after a lot. They are planning on getting keeps or a keep during the housing and when TC and all that goes live. So look forward to that. That's a big part for most guilds. So they will be upping their recruiting to get the numbers to help support. State of the game right now, Housie's pretty happy with it, but he's looking forward to getting brokerage in the game. Shaza craves more AI. And wants to do like if she could bring something into the game right now, it would have been like kind of a gem crafting thing for the maybe weapons, or you could add to your armor or something like that. I don't know. There's many options for that. Maybe obviously necklaces and rings would be among that. Augie says the game is an acceptable state right now, like the roadmap, and just hoping for a few other things, and he does think that the game will succeed as well. And
Give me the dual wielding.
everybody wants the dual wielding. I actually wanted to ask you guys, and none of them had played UO prior to MO. I just also I wanted to know if you guys were really interested in the thievery when it comes into the game, because there's so many people asking for the thievery in this game. It's unbelievable. What do you guys think about that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's huge. Eh?
Very exciting.
Yeah. Very. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. So that's going to conclude the interview for today, everyone. I want to thank chat, especially for being here. Oh, wait, do we have a question? Sorry. Ask him what guild he was in. LIF. What's that mean? LIF.
In Life is Feudal.
Oh, and Life is Feudal. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in the back when the map they had on the MMO was Telmun. I was part of Ironheart.
Ironheart. See, I didn't play it that long, but I appreciate that. What's this?
I wasted 3 months of my life playing that game 60 hours a week. Don't worry about it.
Mining, I bet, underground. Okay.
Nah, worse. Making boards.
All right. Okay, everybody. I appreciate you being here. Chat, amazing. Thank you very much for your patience, and I'm glad that you guys are all here. We had 45 plus people in here to watch and listen to this interview, and I appreciate that. And I want to thank the guys from Draco coming in here and girls coming in here today and spending the hour and a bit with us. And we're gonna leave it there for now. So thanks very much, everybody. We'll talk to you later.